to the torque adapter.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Tools and Tactics. This is Tools with Souls.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about, let's see the comments. Nobody here. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about what tools you need as an apprentice electrician, what tools you're going to be using, the proper mindset you need to get into whenever you are essentially useless to somebody, and how you can be more productive and how you can make yourself valuable and stand out in the crowd. In a nutshell, that's what we're talking about.
I like it.
How are you doing tonight?
I'm still kind of on the fence about health. I'm still sick, but I'm not feeling sick. It's just my voice wavers. Have some breathing issues, which are normal for a person with COPD like I have.
Nice.
Aside from that, life has actually been really good. I started building a shelf at 7 o'clock tonight, and at 7:04 it was finished.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have a stud master.
and that's actually the funny thing is I've got the video for the stud master coming out tomorrow.
Awesome.
At 11. And I originally I had put this together just to kind of demonstrate how to use it.
Right. And because
Henry.
this thing automatically centers your studs, gives you a handle to hold.
Yes.
Pretty neat little jig there.
Tyler Henry, how you doing? Glad to have you here. Appreciate you being here.
Hey, how's it going?
But like I said, I just threw it together to demonstrate how to use the jig. And then I was looking at it. I'm like, I'll just throw another leg on there.
Yeah.
And I made it a nice little shelf. It's actually sitting right next to me right now. And I'll be setting all of the materials that I don't use for the live streams or whatever that I do occasionally use on it, because it's just out of the way. It's small. It's about 2 feet by 2 feet. So
what's that one?
And it will definitely hold anything. I put it together using my brand new 21-degree rigid framing nailer.
Ooh.
Not what you want to use for that sort of thing, but I mean, solid. Went together, right?
Yeah, man, I love a good rigid nailer for sure.
Mm-hmm. You had me at rigid.
Yeah, I know. So we're going to be talking about, not just one specific task. You can be a service electrician. You can be on a service truck. You could be in construction. You could be in maintenance. There's a lot of different things you can do as an electrician or, as a maintenance person. And each setup that you have is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be talking a lot about construction. But we're also going to talk about, service calls, things like that. Mm-hmm. And, let's get into it.
I like it. Jamie True in the house. Hello, Jamie. Glad to have you here as always. Juan Prats. Hello, good sir. And I use good and sir loosely.
So let's just get into what you don't want. Let's just talk about what we don't want. This is going to be specifically geared towards if you are in construction. This is the setup that you don't want.
Oh, okay. So, I thought stuff we don't want. I'm just going to throw Makita out there right now.
Now, as I pull this up or pick this up or whatever, this is something that you might want, but it's not something that you want in construction. And I'm going to tell you why.
You mean the bucket?
So, my dog is not very happy with that banging around. All right, so I picked this up the other day. I've seen the Bucket Boss. I've seen a lot of different styles of things that slide over buckets that hold tools. I had yet to see this Klein one, and I got to tell you, it is pretty impressive. It's got a reciprocating saw slot right there. Show you. It's got its own slot. It's got a pouch here for your impact.
Yes, sir.
And it just sits right in there. And then it's got a hook where you can hook tools onto. I got 3 of the major tools you're ever going to use as an electrician. People might say, why not a grinder? Well, if OSHA's involved and you're on a job site, you can't have sparks without a fire extinguisher and a hot work permit. So we're talking professional here. There's going to be a lot of comments that say, you know, I would just use my grinder. I would just use that fancy cutoff tool that Milwaukee has. Guess what? Not good options for construction or really even a job site. Do you want to fire at somebody's house and then try to explain what happened? You know, use your brain when you're using stuff. That's a little bit extreme, but reciprocating saw. In this case, we have the. Hang on. Pretty big drill.
Is it the 998?
The 998. And then we've got the the reset that I already showed you. Or you could do the Milwaukee one-handed reset.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I used for years in the field. You got the tiny, but very powerful Gen 3 here, not the 4. And then of course you got their impact.
And just to clarify with everybody, Shaka Gillett with the $2 super chat. Thank you, Shaka. Ryobi tools are trash, and Makita too. I'm not. Just to clarify with everybody, why do you only have the Gen 3 Milwaukee? Because I remember you buying the Gen 4.
Man, so I had just to clarify, we had the 4. It wasn't as powerful as my 3. It just wasn't. I did multiple tests. It didn't perform as good. And honestly, if you look right here, you can see where my finger's riding up on these power switch or the forward and reverse switch pretty good. And it's just not a good fit for me. And you can see where this is fairly close, but it's almost like it's out. It's if I try to chuck up in this as high as I can, it's still not, in the way. But the Milwaukees just don't ride good on me for some reason. They just don't. They sit right there. Nothing wrong with them. Great tool. Same thing with the when this is in drive, this is bumping up against here.
I'm sure the Milwaukee guys will be glad to know they don't ride on you nearly as well as the DeWalt guys.
Just a comfort thing, but no, Milwaukee is absolutely solid as far as consistency goes. I would say doing construction, I would probably pick Milwaukee over anything just for consistency. Just know that you're missing out on the weight of a power stack. Like, seriously, these things are incredible. All right, so we got all these tools. This bucket seems really cool. Why don't we want this for construction? All your tools are going to walk away, obviously.
Just so you know, that is what I took with me every single day.
Right, but you weren't in construction.
No.
In a job site, right.
I mean, we had 8 guys on the solar team, but...
Right. You got your team with you. You're in an area with no other trades. You're at somebody's house specifically. There's a lot of factors why this bucket would be good if you're not in construction. If you are in construction, stay away from anything that's flat out open. But while we have this bucket, let me show you some of the features of this thing because it actually carries a whole ton of things. Oh, yeah. This is the stapler.
Tyler, you are so right.
You can fit. What did he say?
The DeWalt ride you good.
The 1,000-volt Kleins it's really hard to fit them in standard size pockets.
Mhm.
And this bag just fits the bill for all of my 1,000-volt needs to where you can pull these out. Because when you got hot work gloves, you know, the extra real estate to grab really helps you out a lot.
Yeah.
I got in a habit of using 1,000 volts even when I was working on de-energized circuits because it's, you know, you have one too many incidents. You do this for a long time. You know, you can get complacent, or somebody says this, or maybe something was just on when it should have been off, or, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. You're better off being safe than sorry.
So Clark, what's the best brand of screwdrivers? So from last week, I believe you're a younger person and you're just getting into tools. So the tool truck alternatives, I would definitely steer you away from because of the cost involved there. The Milwaukee, their M12 screwdriver is actually pretty good. I would have no problem recommending the Milwaukee to anybody.
Saying screwdrivers for screwdrivers or screwdrivers for drill drivers?
Well, best brand of screwdriver. Well, best brand of screwdriver.
Are you talking like electric screwdriver or?
That's the way I took it. But if you're gonna go with just a screwdriver again, I'm gonna say the new Milwaukee ones.
Yeah, you know, this is considered a screwdriver, I guess, if you want to.
Yep.
Or you can get the stick style. But yeah, hands down the best for an electrician, just because everybody has the same one. You get used to it. You get muscle memory. It's going to be Klein. Everybody and their dog is going to have a Klein. You're going to be familiar with it. They just work, man. They discontinued. I was looking for it, see if I can see it here. They discontinued one of my favorite screwdrivers, what was the Journeyman series Kleins. They were all black handles and they're like rubberized.
Yeah. And
man, I loved them, and they stopped making them. But yeah, Klein, there's just too many things. So you got your 3/8 there. On the back side, you got a 5/16. On this side, you got a square. This side, you got a Phillips. And then this thing opens up for more goodies. Trim, flathead, another square. That's 1/4 inch now. Then you got a flathead here. And then you got a number 1 Phillips, all in one screwdriver. Milwaukee started copying and doing what they're doing, but they can't do it as good. This cushion grip and everything is patented. You can beat on these. I beat on these for years. I'll show you a beaten screwdriver. I'll even show you a multi-extender one where this is just longer here.
Yeah.
And you can see the back of that. I beat on that because, you know, you got to get the job done. So this one specifically, sorry, go ahead.
Is that the 14-in-1?
This is this is even less.
That's the first one you had. Is that
no? That was an 11-in-1.
11-in-1.
Yeah. This one here is specifically beaten on because it's an insulated screwdriver. So if you're knocking into an energized panel, you know, you would be safer if you accidentally made contact with something. If this was energized, because this would be touching the edge of the hole where you knocked into, you might make contact with something. You're not going to short anything out. So this was my beating screwdriver for energized panels. And a lot of places like Fidelity Investments, places like that require you, if you are going to be knocking into any panel, whether it's on or off, you have to use an insulated screwdriver.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this thing really, really surprised me for, what was it, $36?
That's not bad.
No, it's not bad at all. It holds everything you need it to. This is what I used to work on for meters.
Mm-hmm.
You know, insulated T-handle. But the cool thing is that it actually has room and you know, storage, covered storage for your multimeter.
Yeah.
Which is always good. Yeah, really, really surprised with this. This is the Tradesman Pro Organizer. It's for a freaking bucket. They call it the bucket bag. This is hands down one of the, it's not one of, it's the best bucket bag that I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
And you got spots for little bits, storage, things like that.
I mean, with the Klein build quality, it's definitely, Klein makes some of the best stuff out there.
It's so it's a 5-gallon bucket, of course. So You know, the options are limitless because you can get the tops to go on these, and you get even more storage on the top. You can get the top used as a seat. This here is a Klein Tradesman Pro, and it holds not even as much for like $50 by itself. Whew. And then, I mean, that's it. So when I saw this with all the pockets, not only that, if you want to get really creative, you could use this as a tool wall inside of your backpack. And I might do a video on that. It might get a piece of plywood.
Harbor Freight bucket.
Staple this to the plywood.
Good
and then
eye.
make inserts inside my tool bags.
Good eye, Tyler. Yeah, he's a frequent Harbor Freight shopper. He just won't admit it.
Who is?
Nobody.
Me. I don't go that
It is a Harbor Freight bucket, though.
If it's red, I wanted the red one. I could have went to Home Depot and got the orange one. I'm thinking about it. This is what you're going to want. Covered storage if you're in construction. Something like this. So typically, your typical loadout for construction is going to look like a bag for your drills, your reciprocating saws, your batteries, and any zipper pouches for bits and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then this almost always stays in the job box. What's going to be on you at all times is going to be your tool belt and, you know, your everyday carry tools. They're all your tasks.
Yes,
and
sir.
then your roto splits, your roto split is something that splits MC. So you, I'm trying to think if I have one handy here, what drawer it would be in. I'm going to guess one. I'm going to guess one drawer. And if it's wrong, we're not going to look for it anymore. Don't listen to me open up all these drawers. Dang it.
It'll be in the last drawer he looks in, folks.
Awesome. It's right where I thought it wasn't. Okay. That was a fail. Things like that, tools you don't use all the time, will go in here. They're going to stay in the job box, the gang box, whatever you call it. It's locked up. Typically, everyone has a common key with that company, and your stuff stays locked up in that gang box. And you got to trust your team not to jack your stuff. You know, you typically in the I don't know 12 years that I was in construction, I never physically put little stupid suitcase locks on any of my stuff. It was an unwritten code. You didn't touch nobody's stuff. So there's a little bit of trust that goes in there, but you're not against the plumbers, the shitrock layers, the high painters. Nobody like that. It's just your electricians.
Can you please say sheetrock again?
No, I'm not going to say it again. So,
Tyler, way to go, framer. Man, Tyler, you need to check out the Studmaster. I mean, not me, but
this is what you're going to wind up with in construction: your everyday carry tool belt.
How you doing, Paul?
It's going to go in here. You're going to roll this to your car. This thing's not really going to have a lock on it. You know what? I would actually recommend you not get this one. This is just an example of what not to get.
Get the rigid.
Get the Husky one, not get the rigid one. If you're in construction, you really don't need a pack out because I just showed you what you're going to need. The pack out is not going to help you out. You're not going to take that pack out in every little room you go. Your pack out's not going to fit in the gang box. And ultimately, your pack out has wheels and it's going to disappear off the job site. So you empty this out. You take this to the job site. You put your tools on. You put whatever in that electric room and you lock it up and expect that if this thing disappears, it's gone. But you need something to get your tools from point A to point B. This is an example of a good pouch. This is a Gatorback. There are a lot better pouches than this. But this is among the top. This is what you're going to see most people have. Klein's Gatorbacks, boulder bags, things like that as an electrician.
How you doing, Paul? Glad to have you here. And Shaka, you couldn't be more right. Two things you'll never find in electrician tool supply is a broom and a dustpan. That's why they have, the lesser trades to clean up.
I'll zip this up so you can see because there's a lot of stuff in here. This is ultimately what you're going to want. You're going to want a backpack like this, and you're going to want a rolly box like that. Or we're going to have one of these and one of these. I would go with the real option. It was me.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this stuff fits in that rolly bag, and then you're not lugging this down the stairs from the 10th story at 3:30 in the afternoon. This bag is going to carry all of your really commonly used stuff that you want to keep with you. You'll notice that everything on this bag is pretty well not going to get stolen, except for this. This can go. This can go in there too.
Paul W. said.
So can our tape measure. Tape measure goes in there as well.
Paul W. said Ruby is trash. And Juan says you remind him of an American Pie movie.
So
I've seen what he did to the apple pie.
Here's your tool bag. This is a really common bag you're going to have.
Yes, sir.
Buy these in packs of 3. They come in different colors. This is what you're going to have your hole saws, your SDS bits. All that stuff is going to go in this bag. Every electrician has at least one of these bags, and it is full of bits, blades, whatever oddball things that you're going to have. It's going to be in here. You're usually going to have another bag like this. It's going to have your socket set. Your socket set is going to be, it's going to start at 1/2 inch because 3/8 is going to be on your impacts and things like that. So it's going to start at 1/2 inch, 5/8 for beam clamps, and it's got to be a 13.5/8 for the larger beam clamps because a 6.5/8 is not going to fit on a beam clamp. So 5/8 beam clamps, 13 point, and then you're going to have your 3/4 socket and a 9/16. I think I said 9/16. If I didn't, have a 9/16 deep and shallow, and you're going to be able to stuff tape in your 9/16 to make it a shallow. If you don't have a shallow, if you don't want to keep 2, you're going to have a 9/16. There's no way about it. So you're going to have 2 of these bags. Next, I really like this. Ever since I found these, I've made sure that I have these. They snap on metal studs. They snap on panels. They essentially become like a free shelf. So if this is a wall that is going to support and not be a file, there you go. And then you got access to all your stuff.
Nice.
3/8, Phillips bits, all of your common stuff. Even your 9/16 socket would go in here. 1/4 inch pilot tips, smaller hole saws like this, things that are really common. We'll go inside here. We're going to talk about what's in this bag, and then we're going to talk about what's for an apprentice here in a second. You're going to have what you call a bastard file. It's half round. It's flat here, round here. Gets in your pipes. Clean your strut up. Don't leave sharp edges on your stuff. A lot of places are spec'd. You can't have sharp edges. You don't want sharp edges. Clean your work up as you go. If you got rigid, you're going to need one of these files, 100%. I like a good 16-foot tape measure. That's in the other bag. Anything that has a standout of 10 feet is good. These have an 11, and they work very well. You get the magnet ones. Magnet ones are cool, but then you get the burrs, and then you figure out what metal splinters are, and you wish you never owned a magnet on anything.
Yes, sir. How you doing, Brandon?
Now, these 3 tools here can get the whole job done because only recently are these tools strong enough. So this is all 12 volt. So I got a 12 volt drill here, and I got a 12 volt impact in here. These are both Gen 3. And then I got an SDS. And then we need a recip, which would also fit in here in the side, believe it or not. But gave away my recip. So that's how life is. I have too many recips. But you got to have a recip saw, you got to have a drill, and you got to have an impact. And if they didn't fit in this bag, that's what the rolly bag is for. That's what the enclosed bag is for. With your batteries, you're just going to have at least 5.0 batteries to get whatever you need to get done, because you can't leave anything at a charging station or a temporary post where the power is without it walking off. It's almost impossible. Once you establish your electric room, that's kind of your home base. That's where electricians hang out. And then you can start setting up and leaving chargers. Even then, you got to watch people. So I always prefer to keep everything.
Hey, Mid-Atlantic. Sorry.
You got to have a good meter. I like Field Piece. I like them all. I'm going to tell you right now. Fluke all the way. I got another brand that I'm trying out. We're going to see how good they are. What is it? The T6 and the T6 1000, I think. It's a standard open jaw meter. When you hit voltage on it, it makes a noise and beeps. And you know you got voltage. That's a nice feature. This meter does that, but this meter is almost $400. It's little things like that that go a long way. There's a lot of meters that you buy on the market that have no business selling meters. Klein is one of them. Southwire is one of them. There's too many bad ones in the bunch for you to get the right one the first try. You get a Fluke, it's going to be good no matter what. You get a Field Piece, it's going to be good. You get one of those Ideals, usually pretty good. Yeah.
Greenlee guy.
This goes to the leads. So my leads are retractable. You got a little point here.
Mm-hmm.
You can spin this and you can get the full lead there. Flukes makes these. They're $10 more than standard leads. You're going to go through leads like crazy. Get some good silicone leads that you trust, pretty much. When you turn on your multimeter the first time for the day, or even the first time for 5 minutes later, what you want to do always is you want to set this. And here's an example of something. Okay, we can have ohms here set, and ohms is a fancy word for resistance. So if we take our leads here and we touch together, you'll see that we have resistance there. I don't know if you can see that meter doing yes. That thing. But you notice you don't hear any beeping. So just a beep is a really nice feature to have.
Mm-hmm.
What you want to do, if this lead was set here like this, and it looks like it's in, but it's really not, you're not going to get any beeping. You think the circuit's off, really it's on. Always check continuity. Before you start playing with your meter, go check something you know is a live energized source. Then go verify your power's off.
Yes. Oh, man. I almost bought a Hyper Tough one just to see.
This is something more for a service technician. This is a must-have as a service technician. This is a must-have if you are on the fire crew and you're the last man on the job site. And you got to fix everybody else's junk, because that's what I did for essentially the last 7 years while I was in construction, was go behind people, troubleshoot, do all that stuff. I learned a whole bunch doing it. I wouldn't trade it for anything. That's where you learn the most stuff. Usually you get stuck in construction and you're doing the same task. You're running pipe or you're pulling wire or you're terminating wire. The company I work for did a lot of things. They did industrial. We did infrared. We did hospitals, we did museums, we did churches. We did it all. And having these tools put me in the position to sort of do all that stuff, because I was the apprentice. I didn't know anything, but I had all the tools, which meant, guess what I'm doing? I'm going to be with the guy that doesn't have the tools. So he was borrowing my tools. I was learning. It was a win-win. This is not something you're going to see in construction, but absolute must. I've got videos on this. I've been told I've got the best video on YouTube about this. We're going to make a part 2 on this very soon. You got your plug, tester, tracer, toner, all that stuff. Make sure my name's not on there. Finds breakers. You won't need this. Maintenance, not construction. This wouldn't be. Heck, you don't even use these till the end of the job. So there's no point even having a 3-eyed monster in your tool pouch until the job is almost done. Because as an electrician, you can use your multimeter to know if the plug is installed correctly. Every so often, you're going to need to crimp something, a stake on, whatever it is. These are good crimpers. This is the most superior design. There's a lot of designs out there. I'm not saying the Klein is the best, but this is the best design.
Brandon from Impact Nation Tools in the house. Hello, Brandon. Always a pleasure. He says his son went to bed early, wants to know what's going on, and say hey, everybody.
What's up, man? We're running through these tools as an electrician, and then we're going to talk about what you need as an apprentice and then how to be more valuable. We're working our way there. This is the Volt Claw. This is got to be one of my favorite tools. I wish I had it while I was in the field. They haven't made it for that long. I've had the pleasure of using it on many job sites now. I wish I'd have had it when I was in construction because you can grab wire like this. You can release the wire. You can push the wire. And you can hammer on this thing to shove wire back into a box. Invaluable tool because everybody's used the back of their Kleins by now. And this is just superior. Your Kleins do get it done, but this is just superior in every way. Everybody's going to have a keyhole saw. Let me show you one thing about this bag that's kind of cool. This bag here actually has a slot. It's actually for meter leads. That way you don't break your leads or whatever. But this slot right here fits a keyhole saw very nicely. And this is hardened all the way around it, and it doesn't tear up your bag. It's hard to find a bag that does that. I saw somebody the other day, and I put a short on it. They took a piece of PVC, and they riveted it to their tool belt, just like this one. And then they stuck the keyhole saw in that way. I've never gone that route. I've always had a folding jab saw. You can put any reciprocating saw blade you want on here. And if you're on a ladder or something, you can lock the angle. Usually you can lock the angle. There you go. And it's, versus bending my elbow and having a short stroke, you can angle this. And now you're more, it's got its benefits. Yeah. But the biggest benefit is that it doesn't tear up your bag. It doesn't tear up your legs. And when you reach in your bag, you're not finding a nasty surprise.
Absolutely. Hey, Josh, glad to have you here. Wants to know what's up. No,
what's up?
Doing a live stream. And Shaka, yes, I did see that flop of an announcement from Makita. Here's my question to you. Did you notice not one professional in their commercials? Not a one. All it was a bunch of people camping. So even Makita's telling you they're not a pro grade tool anymore.
No.
Who makes the Volt Claw? That was the Klein.
Volt Claw, I think NTC, non-conductive tool company, LLC. I didn't even know that. Go on Amazon. I hate to endorse Amazon because, or maybe I don't. I don't know. It's all big corporations. Amazon has this thing. They have two styles. One of them has a hole here for wire nuts, and get this one. This is the one you want. This is the Volt Claw multi-gauge, and it is awesome.
So Queefer Sutherland is here, and he said, yo, let me speak on this. Jodale, arriba la raza.
No, he didn't. He didn't say that. I'm going to put up what he said. That's what he said.
Go up to his first comment.
Oh, yo, let me speak on this. All right. A man of culture, I see.
Yes. We used to call that the was it Eddie Guerrero? It was Eddie Guerrero, Conan. No, Conan is at 5150. Let's see. And Reza Ramon.
This guy is fairly new. This is they just call it the multi. It's a very large nut driver. This thing would have, just great. Everyone's got the only nut driver that I ever owned, because I always put things in my drills or my drivers. I always, had a nut setter for it, except for the 916s, because they didn't exist until until about 2015 or so, 2014, something like that, when they finally started making cool things. This thing has all the sizes. And what's really good is that it's actually not hollow. It's not hollow. Okay, it's not hollow, but it is fairly deep. So whenever you're running up a strut rack and you got that all thread in there and you're tightening your 9/16 or your 9/16 nut onto your 3/8 all thread, you got to adjust and raise that rack. If you don't have, or you should have, a wrench, ratcheting wrench or something, which we're getting to next. This was the quickest option. It's just a quick nut driver. This thing has all the sizes, and a lot of them are actually magnetic, which is a nice feature. Yeah, you can see that's pretty magnetic when you stop and think about it. It's not going to hold it, but that's very magnetic to do that. Oh, look at this. Don't ever buy these. There's a lot of tools that you're going to see, especially when you're new, and you're going to think.
Thank God he didn't call it a sack.
You're going to be like, oh, wow, those look really cool. Let me try that out. These things strip 12.2 and 14.2 automatically, so I'll show you. Got a piece of Romex here. Here's our 12.2. You just grab it like that, and then you pull. Looks like it works really good, but remember, you're all the way inside a box. So how do you do that?
Before it goes in the box.
No, you don't do it before it goes in the box, because whenever you are, roughing it and putting your wire in, you're shoving the wire in the box. You come back with a knife and you cut it afterwards. You don't. You put your sheathing all the way through here, and then you strip it. Typically, I suppose you could strip it before you put it on the box, but nobody does that. Your box is already set, and then you jam your wire in there, and then you staple it. If you were to cut it before you put it on the box, you'd have to make sure you cut the proper amount of sheathing, and then this was installed. Like watch how hard this is to install without jacking up all these wires. So you put this in here, and then look, see you're fighting your paper. And sure, it'll work, but then you got to worry about, is that enough over here? Do I have any extra? You don't strip this first.
What's the code say? How much extra? No. How much wire are you supposed to have in the box?
6 inches of free conductor.
Okay.
Would you like a code reference?
I'm just saying.
Would you like it out of the 2011 code book?
No, just 6 inches of free conductor. You could put that Romex in there, bring it out, and strip it there.
Yeah. Dude, this thing is all marked up, man. That's pretty cool. It's like when I was learning. Still am learning every day. So back to this. This didn't exist when I was in the field, but it sure is cool. The best part about this as a homeowner is where everything is. It's right here. If you're not even an electrician, get this thing, because it's right here. It's not an individual. It's not in this thing. You can use these things, or this thing gets cracked, and then this thing disappears, and it's all in one, man. This thing is awesome. The same thing with the other multi screwdriver for when my daughter brings me something I can put batteries in.
Read Chad's comment. Chad Nichols, by the way. Welcome to the stream, Chad.
On green to electrical, I was wiring a slide out box on Saturday. Rework catch-up day. Was hit with a high pot. Oh. Bang, knocked unconscious with major burns. Now I hate to learn electrical. LOL. What in the heck, man? How do you get hit with a high pot? There's so much wrong with that. So high pot is a high potential. Was it a high pot test, or was it a high potential of energy?
We'll find out. Piquito Pito? Is that how you say
man,
that?
A high pot is a test that they do. So whenever you get a roll of wire, it's like 1,000 feet long or something. They do what they call a high pot test on it to make sure that all the wire insulation, cable, all that stuff is all continuous and electrically safe and going to be good as you cut it up, or maybe that whole length is good. It's called a high pot test. Then you got what you call megging, which is where you have high voltage and low amperage. And then that tests the resistance of your insulation. And then you have what we call ductoring. Now, ductoring is where you would have, I'm trying to find something with a freaking bolt on it. You'd think it'd be easier.
He said high pot test.
Wow, man, that's terrible. I want to get back to that, though. Ductoring. Cool. Here we go. So we're going to ductor this, okay? You got a bolt that connects these two together. Okay, think of this like a switch gear where you got buses that are bolted together. You would go from this plate here to this plate here, and that will tell you if this bolt is loose. And that's high amperage, low voltage, 200 amps injected on a little box. Anyway, pretty cool stuff.
Dang, Chad, you guys might want to look into some safety stuff there.
Yeah, let me see what's going on here. So, high pot test RV units. 3 weeks before it happened to me, a girl died at a local plant. Man, that's crazy.
That sucks, man. It sucks that somebody died.
That's man, that's golly, man.
We wish you a speedy recovery from your burns.
Yeah. Yeah, man, getting hit by somebody else's mistake shouldn't make you not want to learn electricity. The more you learn, the safer you are. Just hang in there and figure out what's best for you. I can't tell you what you should do, but all you can do is learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. The whole company, not just you. That's really bad.
Man,
I don't even want to talk about what I would probably pursue on YouTube about that, but
does it start with L and end with Oyer?
Yeah, a little bit. You might figure out what's going on, especially if you're learning, and then you got some guy that's testing stuff while you're working on it. No lockout tag out can be put on you for, but also it's a high pot test, so you just hook that thing up wherever you want to. That's a tough one, man. There needs to be some training there. There needs to be a safety guy. There needs to be an investigation, unfortunately, to make sure that doesn't happen. That's rhymes with Boscia. Stupid. Oh, this was the Klein insulated multi. I love this thing. It's got the P2 Phillips, and it's got your, what is that? That is a 1/4 inch. No, it's bigger than that. No, it's about a 1/4 inch. So 3/16 is this one for trim. And everyone's got to have a good trim screwdriver. Every electrician has a good trim. This is mine. And they're all about this size. Don't ask me why, but the handles on a trim are always stupidly small.
They look so big in your little hands, though.
This one here you can flip around. And the only part metal about it is encased in this.
The coating.
Whatever that is. Plastic. I don't know.
RV plants and safety is very bad, period.
What's that?
I was just reading Chad's newest comment.
RV plants and safety is a very bad, yeah.
And by the way,
Nation's laughing at Boscia.
Special recognition out here to Renegade's Garage. Dude, not too long ago was just under 1,000 subscribers, and he just passed 2,500. I want to say in the last month or so. So kudos to you, dude. Keep it up. Keep doing the good work, and God bless you. I wish nothing but good things for you.
Yeah, dude. We wish you the best, man. That's awesome. You're more than welcome. Throw out your throw out your. Well, I don't know if you can actually throw out your link.
No, only if he's an admin.
Yeah. Shout out to Renegade's Garage, though. Okay, these are the beating screwdrivers I was telling you about. This one's an actual beating screwdriver. I've owned this twice. I would say don't ever buy one like this. They make better demolition drivers. Stanley used to make the best demolition driver. They used to have a number 3 Phillips, which is absolutely useless, and you threw it in the bushes. And then they had a larger one of these, and you could chip CMU brick with it, man. It was great, and they stopped making them. Then they came out with this piece of crap. It looks cool. It makes you look really professional, but at the end of the day, you're better off getting you a actual Klein like this. This is never going to fail, and you can see where I've hammered the hell out of that. When I hammer on these things, I don't use a hammer, okay? We're using a very specific concentrated. Yeah, we're using a concentrated area, so you're going to get a lot less surface area specifically like this, and you can just hammer on this thing as hard as you want for all eternity, and this thing is never going to fail on you. That's probably really loud. Don't care.
Oh, impact. Dang.
Also, make sure you get the one with the hex on the shank. That way you can put your conduit reamer on it.
Or
if not, you gotta buy
a wrench.
Yeah, for a wrench. If not, you got to put this. This is a conduit reamer. What's nice about this conduit reamer is for set screw fittings. I can show you one here.
Yes, he did.
I can't show you one here because it's underneath my computer, so we're not going to lift that up. But this is really nice for set screws if you're doing set screws. Out of the hundreds of thousands of everything that I've installed, it's 10-to-1 on set screws as far as what I've installed. So this doesn't see very much use. I think that the way things are going, I think you're going to start to see more set screw. But they're not superior. And yeah, this makes life really nice though, because you can't fall off of that screw. It literally keeps you on that screw as you tighten. Those screws are rounded off and terrible. So this is really nice. This reams the conduit. 1/2 inch, 3/4, 1 inch there. This does the exact same thing, but it's my beater screwdriver because I didn't feel like carrying around both tools. And in case you're wondering how much this weighs, this screwdriver with this adapter on it weighs 6.6 ounces. This thing here weighs, I had 9.1, 8.1 ounces. It's considerably heavier when you hold them both, but this thing does add weight. All this stuff is weight on your hip.
Yeah. So Impact Nation said OSHA came through a couple months back and shut a framing company down. No harnesses, 20,000 in fines. And Chad came back with, I was making $60 an hour at the RV plant as a group lead. Now they are closed down. Safety was the last priority. Well, it sounds like they deserve to be shut down, but I'm sorry you're losing $60 an hour. I hope they gave you a sweet compensation package.
Yeah, exactly. That's unfortunate. So your burns, I have to go back and look at that.
What state do you live in, Chad? It's going over into the insurance area of things where I know a lot about workman's comp and insurance. And you don't. I could easily do an entire series of stuff that people don't know about insurance.
All right, I'm a flashlight-aholic, man. This is
Logan
thing. When you're blind like me and you got to shine light at light to be able to see. This goes on the hard hat. Back before they really had good flashlights, Coast was one of the first that ever made a good flashlight. Came out Home Depot, it used 3 AAA batteries. And back in, 2010, before I got married, we would cut the cords off and then solder in our own little battery pack from Radio Shack with four AA's in it. And it would give us more capacity, slightly more light, and double A's were a lot cheaper than triple A's. Now this is what we got, rechargeable. So got to have a light. Now this is pretty much the minimal. This is minimalist. You don't need this tool, so we're not even going to show you this. This is the Apprentice portion of this. Yeah, here it is. 16 footer. Maybe get a 20 if you want to impress. Strippers. Don't necessarily need a trim as an apprentice. Actually, you do.
I'm always up for a good stripper.
Razor knife. I really like this one.
I'm not gonna tell you. I actually like the tough belt one.
Yeah. You gotta have 2 pairs of channel locks. I've never actually bought a pair of channel locks. I've come across about 20 of them somehow in my life. I've given them all away, including my 480s, which doesn't count because I did buy those. But before these came out, I think I had the Irwins. And then something else. Like, I've never been forced to use crap.
What's up, big dog?
And there's nothing wrong with channel lock as a brand, you know, USA made and all that. These are just superior in every way. I've owned these since 2008, this pair. My other pair was stolen. I was probably the first person in Dallas to have them. They hit a store called J.L. Matthews, which is a safety store. They weren't in any supply house for 2 years until then. Everybody's got the hype about these now because, you know, they're all over the internet. Everybody knows what these are. I've used these since 2008. This is nothing new. This isn't a bandwagon. These are the absolute best that you can buy. You can hammer on these as much as you want. You name it. You know, you can accidentally cut them with the bandsaw. You can do anything to these. They're going to last you. They're not going to fail. This spring never fails. They're completely flawless. They're one-handed. They're just the best. Hands down.
I like it.
I would say the same thing about the Kleins. It's hard to beat a good Klein. They got other brands. They got the Knipex. They got all the other ones. I'm used to Klein. I've always preferred Klein.
You need to try the Queefer's saying you need to try the Doyle since you're in Harbor Freight so much.
The Doyles, yeah.
You hear?
I came across a lighted level years ago, and I can never go back. This thing is awesome.
That is good.
And this is, of course, you got the Sharpie. And these are tools that you're going to have as an apprentice to be effective. The minimum. You're going to want this on you at all times. Hang on. The light is doing things. Come on, light. There we go.
And if you guys are going to buy channel locks, make sure you buy the blue handled channel locks because the blue handle made in America.
Yeah. I know a lot of people that have channel locks. I would say probably this is one of your biggest mistakes that you can have.
The no touch tester?
Yeah.
Because they're not accurate?
You know what? They might be accurate, but they also got false positives. They're just not
false positive.
A good thing to trust. What this is used for? I'll show you what this is used for. Got a cord here. I'm on it. It's literally not beeping right now. Okay. So we turn off the light. Okay, we found the circuit. Let's verify the circuit. Okay, we got power. Pretty sure I found the circuit. Let's make sure. Okay, now I know what the circuit is. Now we get our multimeter. That's what this is for. And nothing else. You don't. This is not the last tool you put on something before you put your dick beaters on it. It's just not. And I'm serious. This is about as serious as I can be. You do not use this last. You just don't.
Yes, sir.
Every time I turn on this light, my occupancy sensor resets.
And when he's talking about dick beaters, he's meaning the pair of tweezers he keeps in his pocket.
Oh, that was good. Uh, this right here. So
Queefer said he's going to come through the screen and get you.
Your standard 10-in-1 here. You can never have too many 10-in-1s, as you can see. This thing is on the next level. This thing has a magnet built in. It goes from 1/4 inch to 5/16, just like that. There's no. Typically, you would have to flip all this around. This is the multi here. If you wanted to go to 1/4 inch, you would pull this out. You put it in your pocket. Don't forget to lose it, and then you have your 1/4 inch. If you want a 5/16, you would flip this around. Also lose this. Lose your 5/16. No magnets. Completely hollow. You go from 1/4 inch with a magnet to 5/16, just like this. It's just the best, and you can lock this once you find the size you want. Then it's got 3/8 on the back side, which is really useful for stretch straps. And then you got your standard Phillips and flathead, and a 1/4 inch there if you need it. Just superior in every way. And actually, you know what? We're going to upgrade this, and we're going to put
drinking whatever's handy there. Welfare.
Look at that. We just upgraded this to the extra duty multi. Haha! Now we have the only thing extra duty about this thing being extra duty is this steel black shaft right here.
Yeah. Chad, we're just glad to see that you're safe, that you're here with us tonight, and that you're okay. I hope everything works out in your favor as far as that place. Even though you said it's closed down, they still have to carry insurance. And Shaka Gillis said he lost 2 subs this week, and I apologize because I was half of that. No, I wasn't. I'm still there. You can check. I'm still one of your subscribers.
That's funny. Well, that's about it for the tools. Let me switch this camera.
Ugh.
Yeah, sorry. Now I can catch up with the chat, maybe a little bit.
I've been keeping up with the chat in between while you were taking a breath.
Yeah. So let's talk about.
That's what you get, Shaka, for not being a channel member anymore. I just took one away. The boys are back in town. Thanks, welfare checks.
So let's talk about being a helpful, useless person as an apprentice.
I'm out.
You don't feel like, yeah. You're sitting there with your journeyman. You're waiting for him to tell you something to do. Keep the area clean. Figure out what each box is called. Learn what things are called. Figure out, work on your channel locks, because your proper way to use your channel locks is like this, when you're tightening. So one goes here, one goes there. A lot of people, when you're first starting, you'll be using your channel locks like this because it's just natural. And you go like this, whether you're tightening or loosening. Figure out what to do, how to operate your channel locks.
It's just like
get good with that. Try to figure out what your journeyman or your lead guy is going to be doing and figure out what he needs before he needs it. You see him holding pipe up and he's getting ready to mark or whatever he's going to do. You can be right there with the level. Put the level on the pipe. Next thing you know, he's grabbing a pencil. Hand him a pencil. Now he can mark where the pipe is. Next thing you know, he's going to be drilling a hole. Get your drill. Get it chucked up. Have him ready to drill the hole. What is he going to need now? Now he's going to need a strap. Now he's going to need the bolts. Next thing comes the coupling, And then he's going to be 10 feet down. So what are you going to do? You're going to grab your ladder. Hopscotch ladders. You're right there with him. So you got 2 ladders. So he can use your ladder now, and you'll set up his ladder further down. Just continue to be productive. Always be thinking about what are we going to be doing next. There's always something you can do. There's no, Yeah, unless there's not. Sometimes you have a job site where there's literally nothing to do, and your job is just to chill. But that's not very often. So there's always something you can do, whether you're handing somebody something, whatever you're doing.
Yes, Jamie, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. Get the materials ready for your next step. It's that simple. The next thing you need to know, your tool pouch. So if you're inside somebody's house, this looks good. It makes you look really professional. When you squat down on the floor, you'll notice my screwdriver is sticking beyond this pouch, and you're damaging the finished products. You're damaging the floor, whatever you're doing. You don't always want a tool pouch in every situation. In construction, your tools are always staying on. But in construction, as a helper, where the heck is it? You're going to find that you're getting a lot of stuff. So you might want to have a pouch that clips on and off.
Absolutely.
Like this Klein one. So this Klein one's pretty cool. Pop that up, pop that off.
I didn't think I'd be seeing that much skin tonight.
Get your channel locks. Get your Kleins. Get your 10-1. Get your tape measure and a level. And probably your conduit reamer. Just like that. And now you got everything that you need. When he says, go get a delivery, go get me this, go get me that. Keep your Kleins with you. Make sure you take your knife because you're going to get in a delivery. You're going to be opening a box. You're going to be cutting straps. You're going to be doing all those things. You need a knife. You need Kleins, minimum, whatever you're doing. Probably a pen. Just depends what you're doing. If you put this down, you make sure you have at least these two with you. Maybe a 10-1 in your back pocket. When you get back, these go back on. Snap that back on there. Now, what's good about this Klein? What's bad? It hangs really low and it rubs pretty bad. I don't think I'd buy those Kleins again.
So, Howie, I know why that face that I made makes you think I was excited, because it was the same face that every woman that's ever seen you naked gives you. But it was the look of disgust.
It's like, oh, yes, a familiar face.
That was the look of disgust.
One of my favorite things about Tough Builds, man, they specifically have this. It's for a razor knife. Even this one, it's for a razor knife. They even feature it. Got your level. Got your 2 pairs of channel locks. Don't get anything smaller than these. They make smaller ones. They're only so useful. There. Now we're running pipe. And then if you got a delivery, it gets stuck. What's going on here?
I don't know. You lost me at running pipe.
Interesting. I've had this. This is from Sears, man. I've had this since like 2008. This thing's been through hell. Good tools though.
Well, how can you tell if they're excited after? They're too busy laughing.
Oh, that's great.
Hung on
Well,
4-month-old boy.
Man, that's about it for tools. I think we hit all of the high points and the low points of what you need minimum. The one thing we didn't mention would probably be
I'm telling you all, I carried everything that I needed to do solar in one bucket. It was easy.
Your 9/16 and your 7/16. Your 7/16 is going to go for your Minerallac straps. The good ones actually have 7/16 nuts for 1/4 inch. So you would, be able to tighten these up, especially if you're an industrial. They're going to be nylon lock spec. You ain't moving those things by hand. Actually, honestly, your 3/8 is going to be really useful for strut straps, and your 1/2 inch can be useful for strut straps once you're on a rack and everything's already installed and you're just adjusting things. I actually use my channel locks, admittingly, to hold nuts still while I zip them in. While I zip them into my strut or whatever I'm doing in min relax. So, your most useful size is.
So I can tell you, Renegade. He wants to know, as an electrician, is a torque screwdriver needed? I can tell you that when I was doing solar, everything had to be torqued to a certain spec in order for the warranty for everything to be upheld. So everything that we did was torqued to a certain foot-pounds or inch-pounds. So yeah, it was pretty important.
No, absolutely. Yeah, you got to have torque wrenches. That's going to be a company furnished tool. Your bandsaws. I own my own bandsaw, but most people don't. SDSs. I have my own. Most people don't. SDSs, pipe threaders, knockout sets. I have my own. Things like that are going to be furnished by the company. Ladders, torque screwdrivers, which you're going to use at the very end of the job once you're finally done and everything's ready to be closed up. As far as what you're carrying on you, that's pretty much it. There's not too much else that you're going to need. If you have all of these, I mean, you're pretty well set. You might run into a couple of oddball things. I ran into something whenever I was doing the Eamon Carter Art Museum, and I actually needed a 7/16. Holy moly. This thing's been on here for a long time.
Just break it.
I thought I was going to break it. It wouldn't break. I meant to get my hit.
So as we know now, Pittsburgh plastic is stronger than tactics.
You ever seen a 7/16 Allen?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
it's not very common.
For Polaris's or something. It was a Liebert unit that came with a box, and it had its own what do you call it? Like a hub.
So a lot of
a terminal strip, but it was huge because it was like 350s. The wire was this big or that big, and I had to put the lugs on. This is the only time that I've ever told my foreman that I didn't have a tool and he had to go buy me one. And I still got it.
The most amazing part of that is you didn't lose it. And by the way, people, what he calls a pipe threader is an actual pipe threader. It's not his teeth this time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm just here for comic relief, I swear to God.
Last but not least, don't forget about gloves. Gloves, especially as a helper, especially as anybody. Yeah. That's all I got.
Me too.
Cool. Let's get out of here. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Let me know what you guys want to see. Give me an idea on what the next live should be about. If you got any electrical questions, you got something going on that we can troubleshoot, verbally, or, this is doing this, or whatever you guys got. You got any questions? Let me know. Thanks for watching.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks for joining us.